I want to be very clear that I do not think that we will ever truly know what happened or what is happening or what will happen with the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing. And I think that Jeffrey Epstein, in of itself, is a construct of manufactured information to distort the image of leadership in the public. And I think that everything is a psyop when it comes to this type of stuff. But what exactly is the psyop for? I don't know. And how truly evil are these people? I don't know. But the better question to ask right now is not what's in the Epstein files. It's basically what's not in the Epstein files. Because there are still millions of documents that are within the pages that are not being released yet. And the new photos that have come out have been pretty jarring. You have Donald Trump and Bill Clinton laying in bed looking like they're naked with each other. And you have the Dalai Lama being invited out to Epstein Island. You have all these other different types of celebrities and science leaders of that generation and such being invited out. Who really knows what's what and what isn't? I mean, how much of this is AI generated? I have no clue. I have no clue. I don't trust the government at all. I just don't. And I think that it would be a mistake to believe a lot of this stuff because, again, it's just about they're trying to show you what they've done without trying to show you what they're doing. And they're using spiritual laws to manipulate the fabric of reality. And it's not even the fabric of reality. It's the veil. It's the veil of reality that they're trying to pull through. Like, they want to live in this domain, this physical plane forever. The world operates, we're just going to go deep in here, okay? Like, just if you're not ready for this, you're not ready for this. And if you are, you are. And I'll leave it at that. The best thing to understand when it comes to this kind of stuff is that it's not even about what it's about, okay? It's not about Jeffrey Epstein. What it's about is who's behind this structure, this construct, within constructs of reality. Because I think that with AI, all of the stuff that's going on, I think if you look at true history, nobody really knows how to verify a lot of these historical events. Like, have you ever noticed that? Like, there's no way to truly verify these events. And I am under the impression, as an intellectual, honesty-based person, that if I cannot verify an event, then in event time on a timeline, then how can I truly take somebody's word for that? Like, I can't just trust me, bro. Like, I can't trust you. You know, if your argument is trust me, I can't trust you with that. I can't trust you with this type of information. I can't trust you where the veil of consciousness is being lifted and you say, no, it's not, trust me. Kind of feels like gaslighting, honestly. It kind of feels like gaslighting. And you have to recognize that consciousness is the most important asset that any of us has. You yourself, your own mind and your heart and your soul, that is the most important asset that you have. I wouldn't even necessarily say that the soul is an asset. It's just something that you have or you don't. And the way in which we move through the world is based upon your degree and understanding of your own consciousness, and your lack thereof will put you in a position where you don't even know that you're a construct of the manufactured information. Now, what I think Jeffrey Epstein is the whole thing is based around this person who really was like a third party from the looks of it to me. I don't know who's behind it, but I'm very interested to know why they're interested in people like Stephen Hawking or the Dalai Lama or, all these different types of celebrities and politicians, why they're interested in the mathematics and the science, right? Like, why would they be interested in quantum physics, for example? Why would they be interested in that kind of stuff? Well, because quantum physics is the key to understanding timelessness, and timelessness is God. And these people are literally trying to play God, and they're using forced blackmail from the looks of it, and sometimes not forced blackmail. Who knows, right? Who knows? But they're using the purity of the innocent as a way to get spiritual favor in this domain, because you can manipulate, like if you want to talk about the demiurge, right? The demiurge. There's a few theories out there, and I'm not saying that I disbelieve it. I'm not saying that I believe it. I'm just saying that this is the information. There are some theories out there that the demiurge is an AI that is created from the future, and it's living in the present, and it's the history of everything that we've seen is an AI program to some degree. Now, you can believe that if you want. It's not really as computer sized, I guess you could say. Like, it's not really digitized, I guess you could say as well. It's not as digitized of a simulation as you want to think, but the simulation in of itself is very real. Now, I am not a simulationist. I do not think that we live in a simulation, at least in regard to the way that most people view simulations. I think that this reality is just as strange as it seems, and yet at the same time, it's not that mysterious. I don't think this reality really is that mysterious. I don't think God is as mysterious as a lot of people want to believe that he is. And I think that a lot of people use God's mysteriousness as a way to fabricate their own shortcomings and their own inability to understand and to really search for the truth. A lot of people don't want to think about this stuff. They just don't want to think. And I genuinely believe, and it's not even like I believe this, it's just that this is the conclusion reasonably that I can see, is that the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing is a distraction from you realizing your own potential of your consciousness. It's really what it is. They want you so focused on these other things that you're losing yourself to the construct of this manufactured information. And again, who knows how much of it is real, right? Like, who knows how much of it is really real? And this is such an interesting topic, but at the same time, I'm kind of sick of it personally. We're not going to know. We're not going to know what's going on. And a lot of people think that Trump is playing 4D chess and all this stuff. And it's like, come on. The guy is in the files. And again, do I know the files are even real? Like, I don't know. But he's not just in the files for no reason. You see, here's what I think also is like, because I'm not a liberal, I'm not a conservative, I'm just Thaddeus. Okay, I'm founder of Regal Change and Regal Change Academy. I'm Thaddeus. That's who I am. I'm just a guy. Okay, I'm just a guy, and I'm just trying to live in reality, really. Like, I just want to live in reality. I do not think that this world is as coherent as we want to believe it is. Time is not linear. It just is not. If you've watched my timeline theory video recently, and if you want to look into it, you can check out the playlist on my YouTube account. But in there, I talk about event time, watch time, and individual time. Event time is going to be nonlinear. Why? Because you can, let's say like a marriage, right? Like let's say you're getting married or something. And you have your own individual timeline and your watch time, but the event is going to be shared on the same time It's going to be on a timeline, but it's not going to be on your specific individual time. It's going to be something that is beyond the space-time continuum, so to speak, right? It's going to be in timelessness, because reality really is the experiences that we share together to some degree. And so let's say like you and your wife, or you and your husband, whoever's watching this, right? If you're like in a marriage, right? And you get married, maybe you're older than your soon to be wife. Her linear time is different from your linear time, but you're sharing the same event, which means that yes, even though you're experiencing that time together, it's not exactly linear. We're all experiencing time differently, depending on our consciousness level and depending on how we see the world and how our relationship truly is with God. And so what I think that with the jet-free Epstein stuff, it's all a distraction. And I think that the sooner that we let go of this stuff, I'm not saying that people shouldn't be held accountable. I think that people should be held accountable, but how do we verify any of this, guys? How do we verify any of this? Because here's the thing. Let's say it is true. Let's say all of this is true. Like Donald Trump gave Bill Clinton a BJ, like what the photos suggest. Let's just assume that that really happened. Okay? How the do we verify that? How do we hold those people accountable for that? How do we do that? And would they even, like, what would have to happen for that to be even the case? Now, let's say that all these images for example, with the Donald Trump and Bill Clinton giving him a BJ, let's say that is fake. Let's say that's fake. Well, what does that say about the entire Epstein construct thing then? That it's just a show. It's just more of the same. So either way, nobody is really going to be held accountable for this crap. The pictures of all these politicians and celebrities and scientists and mathematicians and religious leaders from around the world that are shoving their faces in kids' behinds like disgusting perverts that they are. Who even knows, man? Like, who even knows how much of this is real, and how can we verify this stuff? Well, we're supposed to think that, like, oh, well, the government put it out, so we, like, okay, if they really did that stuff, why on earth, if you're a criminal, why would you want to broadcast that to the world that you're a criminal? These people, they can't be held accountable. This world is so wicked that we are not going to be able to leave this world less wicked than we found it. It's just not the case. I don't see it happening. And that doesn't make me black pill. That doesn't make me a doomer. I love life. I think life is beautiful. But I think that the best way to orient ourselves is to focus on, number one, our relationship with God, and number two, with the people that are real around us. Keep the real ones close to you, because this is just too much. It's all too much, and it's just a show. It's all just a show. Okay, I don't really think that there's really much else to say. There's really no way to verify this kind of stuff. And apart from like witness testimony and such as well, and I'm not even convinced of all of the people that have look, I'm not trying to denigrate people's experiences if they did go through this kind of stuff. Like, if they did go through the grape and all that, I'm not trying to denigrate that at all. But like, I don't believe a lot of these people that are coming out all of a sudden. Again, it's just a continuation of the construct of manufactured information that they want you to be in, so that you're hyper connected to a fake timeline so that they can easily manipulate you. Who knows what history really is about? Okay, I mentioned this the other day, just yesterday actually, in the Regal Change Academy, was like, how can you even possibly know if the internet was actually meant to bring information into the world? How was it supposed to actually connect people? What was it really for? You know, what was the internet really for? And you don't think that there's never been a time in history that people haven't been shadow banned? You know, you don't think that there's a time in history where people, like certain books weren't were forbidden, or certain information was forbidden, or talking about certain things were forbidden, but they were all forbidden for the wrong reasons. And they were forbidden for reasons that maybe we didn't even like, they didn't even, the reasons themselves are fabricated. So it's not even real information that you're forbidding. Again, it's fake. It's fake information. It's manufactured information that they're trying to keep you from extending your consciousness and expanding your consciousness. They just want you distracted. Sometimes people make things forbidden just to make it like a psyop, right? Like, think about all of the psyops that happen that are psyops within psyops. Okay, I'm still not convinced about the whole Charlie Kirk situation. I'm sorry, I'm just not. I don't believe that. I don't want to denigrate anybody's experience, of course, but the way that these people are behaving following the fact, I don't buy anything that's going on. I'm not saying nothing happened. I'm not saying that something happened. I'm just saying that whatever was what that was, it's meant to be divisive. It's meant to be putting people against each other inside fake timelines, so that these evil people, whatever they're really doing and whoever they really are just siphoning off your energy. That's all that they want. So I kind of hope to just stop hearing about this Jeffrey Epstein stuff, but honestly, at the same time, I understand why people are not gonna stop. I think it's one of the most interesting things of our time, but at the same time, I think it's all just fugazi. I think it's just a charade. And look, you can disagree with me. I don't really care. I know what I see, and I know what I feel, and I know what I can verify as information, and I know what I cannot verify. But I'm always open for people to provide real hard information. It always bothers me when people are like, "Oh, well, this is true because I said so." Okay, how do I verify that? Well, trust me, bro. No, I'm not gonna just trust you, bro. I'm not gonna just trust you. I need to be able to verify this information. And if I can't verify it, then I can't truly live the truth. I can't. How do you expect me to do that? I can tell you narratives and stories and morals within those stories and narratives, but that doesn't make the narrative of the story like true, but it makes it real. Okay, because not all things that are real are true, because there's a lot of falsehoods. Like, it's true that there are falsehoods in the world, but that doesn't make it not real, and it doesn't make it real either. It depends on the situation and the context, and it depends on how you look at it. Like, this world is all about perspective. Your experience is really the only thing that you can truly trust at the end of the day in this life. So be mindful and don't get lost in the sauce, and just acknowledge that if this is true, how do we verify it? Because if we can't verify it, why take it seriously? All right? So with all that being said, I hope this message was useful and insightful for you. Stay blessed, and until next time.